he's gotten into his niche and he keeps rolling with it. So 45 years dedication to the people of Marshall County. That is impressive. So
Rex's grandfather was also with secondary roads with Marshall County. So,
well, that's awesome.
Really? Wow.
yes.
That's awesome.
And his brother.
So that's great. Congratulations to Rex. Paul, thank you for your work with him, and we'll see if he gets another 45 years. Next, Luke Hansen, 10 years, Assistant County Attorney in the County Attorney's Office.
Luke is not here today, but he is working from home. There is a family matter that he's taking care of. But Luke has worked for Marshall County and done juvenile matters, and some of the hardest things to deal with, Luke has dealt with. He has been here through all of the things, obviously, that we've gone through, and we're so happy to still have Luke with us.
Great. Thank you very much. We're glad to have Luke. And just for a reminder, so that it gets on the recording, whenever anyone wants to speak, they need to go to the podium for the microphone. So, did you want that for the record?
No?
Okay. Well, next we have Kyle, and Kyle's here for 10 years. 10 years for Kyle. Boy, that's past 10 years. And Kyle does he's a collections assistant in the county attorney's office, and we appreciate all that he's done for the county, bringing in money to help make ends meet.
We thank Kyle also for his service. He has served in his capacity as collections assistant for a long time now. He has done anything that we have asked him to fill in for, and he's always there to provide us jokes, and especially at a time of need. So we thank Kyle also for his service.
All right. I couldn't have said it any better here, so congratulations. We're so happy to have you.
Photo at all? Or no?
Thank you, Kyle.
I can appreciate it.
Kyle, thank you.
Here, I'm gonna go take one, and then we can get it to Deb.
Thanks a lot, Kyle.
I got a little bit of Kelly, there we go. There. Yay, congratulations.
Lastly, we have James Grobach, 5 years, Deputy Sheriff in the County Sheriff's Office. I see he is not here, taking care of business out there today. So, any comments from you, the Sheriff, or?
No, James has been a great asset to the Sheriff's Office. He's a veteran from our services, and he's been inspirational to the department that he's assigned to right now currently. He's doing great things working with our state and federal partners fighting war against drugs. So he's doing well. So thanks. I want to thank you for the asset to our agency.
Thank you. Thanks to all our employees with hitting their service award milestones today, and to all our employees that are getting back into our courthouse. On to number 6 is the May Mental Health Month Proclamation. Mental Health Month 2023. Look around, look within. Whereas the area that someone lives in plays a significant role in their overall health and well-being. And whereas surroundings can impact if, how, and when a person's needs are met, which in turn affects mental health. And whereas having safe, stable, and healthy home conditions is set the foundation for achieving and maintaining good mental health. And whereas with early and effective interventions, those individuals with mental health conditions can recover and lead full, productive lives. And whereas each business, school, government agency, healthcare provider, organization, and citizen shares the burden of mental health problems and has a responsibility to promote mental wellness and support prevention efforts. Therefore, I, Jarrett Heil, do hereby proclaim May 2023 as Mental Health Month in Marshall County. And as the chairman, I also call upon the citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools in Marshall County to recommit our community to increasing awareness and understanding of mental health and the steps our citizens can take to protect their mental health and the need for appropriate and accessible services for all people with mental health concerns. All right. Lisa, did you have anything to add with that from CICS?
No, just, make sure the residents of Marshall County know that there's resources available. Reach out to our office, Center Associates, the Mental Health Crisis Line. There's help out there.
Great. Thank you very much. The microphone's up front. That's going to be a constant reminder I give. So services at Center Associates, CICS office, certainly reach out if there's anything that you need, and we appreciate all those that work in mental health to help all of us deal with the mental health needs that are out here in our community. Number 7 is the EMS Week Proclamation. To designate the week of May 21st through 27th, 2023 as Emergency Medical Services Week, whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and whereas emergency medical services has grown to fill a gap by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventative medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine. And whereas the emergency medical services system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, emergency medical dispatchers, firefighters, police officers, educators, administrators, pre-hospital nurses, emergency physicians, trained members of the public, and other out-of-hospital medical care providers. And whereas the members of emergency medical services teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical services providers by designating Emergency Medical Services Week. Now, therefore, I, Jarrett Heil, Chair of the Marshall County Board of Supervisors, in recognition of this event, do hereby proclaim the week of May 21st through 27th, 2023 as Emergency Medical Services Week. With the EMS Strong theme, EMS Week, where emergency care begins, I encourage the community to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. Thank you all to all of our EMS folks out there and all that they do to help protect people and respond in crisis and time of need for our community. Kim, did you have anything to add to this?
Come up to the mic.
Thank you.
I like the round table part better, but that's okay. All right, it's change. So, no, I just wanted to thank everyone and that volunteers or career with EMS. It's kind of where I started. Emergency management just knows how hard they work, just like all the other first responders. But I also want to put a plug out there that volunteerism is way down, and all of those EMSers, want me to tell you that, they really do need help out in the communities. It's those guys that are that link between you and the hospital, so they're saving lives out there, and if anybody needs any information on volunteering, they can get a hold of my office. Right.
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you. Anything else to add on these proclamations? No. All right, number 8, the consent agenda. Approve the regular session minutes, May 10th, 2023, and special session minutes, May 15th, 2023, and the April claims. 8B, approve claims as audited. 8C, file manure management plan, Jared Whitaker, ID 70163, 180th Street, Clemens, no changes. Justin Whitaker, ID 66798 at 1775 Benford Avenue State Center, no changes. 8D, personnel changes. New jailer hire for Sheriff's Department, Beth Opperman, 41.25 hours per week at $20.41 per hour. Effective employment date on May 30th, 2023. And that is the end of the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
We have the motion and the second. Do we have any other comment? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Kyle?
Yes.
Solosik?
Yes.
Hibbs?
Yes.
On to number 9, approve YSS Marshall County Contract 2023-24. Did David Hicks, is he here today? No?
Don't see David.
Is there any discussion on this?
I just have one, as in reading through it, I think it's, they provide a valuable service. Maybe Steve can give some context. When's the last time they actually came and presented about what they're doing for county residents?
It's probably in a year and a half.
Okay, so.
Actually,
Maybe-
I think it's a little sooner. He
Is-
usually comes a couple times a year.
Okay,
And he, when he sent this to us, he also was working on getting a date on our calendar
Great.
to present at a board meeting here.
great.
So,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear how they're able to work their impact program with the sheriff's department too, so.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion then to approve the YSS Marshall County contract for 23-24 and authorize the chair to sign.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have the motion and the second. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Kyle?
Yes.
Solosik?
Yes.
Yes.
Number 10, approve professional consulting services contract with Cost Advisory Services, Inc. And this is our contract with Cost Advisory Services for
That's
each.
been ongoing for many years. We just approved the actual reports at the meeting in January, but
Yep.
this is now our contract to continue the service with them.
I'll make a motion that we approve the professional consulting services contract with Cost Advisory Services, Inc. for 23, 24, and 25, and authorize the chair to sign.
I'll second.
All right, we have the motion and the second. One last note here on this. The county to agrees to pay the consultant amount to not exceed $6,580. We have the motion and the second. Any further discussion?
I will note that this is a way that we actually do, they do analysis of our space at the annex building for HHS, and it actually ends up in the long run saving us some money. So it's for insurance type purposes that we have this.
Great. Thank you.
So, yeah.
All right. Roll call vote, please.
Kyle?
Yes.
Solosik?
Yes.
Hibbs?
Yes.
Number 11, approve IDOT pre-construction agreement for Highway 30 in Marshall County. And it's the Iowa Department of Transportation pre-construction agreement 2023 C101 for primary road project NHSX 0305-281-3H-64. Relating to road work on Highway 30 affecting intersections of Eastman Avenue, Fairman Avenue, Gerhart Avenue, Jessup Avenue, and Knapp Avenue. Paul?
This is an agreement we've done similar in the past where we, when we have an upcoming primary road project on a state highway, we can agree with, it ends up being the cost to us of the real construction money, but to extend the intersections out away from the traveled way, so pave out from, instead of it being just rock right up to the edge of the primary, we can pave out 50 feet or so and do the radius of the intersection. And what it does for us is it keeps the motor grader during the course of its maintenance out of the traveled way of that primary highway, so it's safer for the operator and safer for the public. The other nice thing is that rock that we've all seen on the edge of the primary highways where it makes a little rut, where that intersection is, that's a county maintenance issue just by administrative code. There's, you know, that's our responsibility to fix. So that problem goes away too, because that blowout and the what we call the edge rut doesn't happen right where the intersection is going on. So it benefits us, and there's no cheaper way for us to get this done, because if we were to let a small contract to go out and do this, it would probably be double what we pay in the DOT project.
Excellent. Any questions for Paul?
I'll just need 2 originals signed, and I can take them to the DOT, and then we'll get a fully signed copy back to us.
Excellent. Thank you, Paul. I'll entertain motions.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion then to approve the Iowa Department of Transportation pre-construction agreement. I'm just gonna quit right there. How about that?
You know,
Well, I'll second that motion.
we have the motion and the second. Roll call vote, please.
Kyle?
Yes.
Slosson?
Yes.
Hibbs?
Yes.
On to number 12, approved cancellation of warrants outstanding for over 1 year. This is pursuant to section 331.5547 Code of Iowa. Warrants outstanding for more than 1 year shall be canceled by the auditor, and the amount of the warrants shall be credited to the fund upon which the warrants were drawn. The only question I had on that was, what is NACVSO?
I'll pull that vendor up.
These
Is that
folks
in-
have chosen not to cash their check, is that
Correct.
basically
And
what it boils down to?
we do reach out to them.
Do we?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Is it,
Do we reissue checks if they've
Yes,
lost it?
yes,
Okay.
we do. We do.
is it like an organizational dues or something like that?
Hold on. Veterans, National Association of County Veteran Service Officers.
Hmm.
Well,
I'm guessing it's a membership.
all right. Well, thank you very much. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion that we approve the outstanding warrants for over 1 year as presented.
I'll second.
We have the motion and the second. Any further questions, comments? Roll call vote, please.
Kyle?
Yes.
Slosson?
Yes.
Hibbs?
Yes.
All right, on to number 13, discussion and possible action on RFB for SIREN project. Kim Elder.
And Paul, I'm gonna pull him up there with me.
Oh, great. Tag team.
Since Paul and I met and discussed this Friday, while everybody else went home. So the RFB, request for bids, that I sent to you, we've been working on that document for quite some time now, trying to get ready for the SIREN project for the county, incorporated county areas. So, sent it to Ehlers, they rearranged some things, added some things. The only things that we moved around, there was a couple of paragraphs at the beginning of it that were kind of out of sync. I just moved one in front of the other, and that would have been the second and third paragraphs on page 1, about the bid letting meeting. It was just out of order. So basically that, and on page 1, we changed a place where it said that an engineer, we were gonna use the county engineer, Paul, obviously, for a spot, but it really just doesn't fit with what Paul does.
Well, it just talked about plans and specifications, and I haven't had any input on the plans and specifications for this project. So.
We tried to look into another program that you have for other projects, and it just doesn't fit. So basically, the third paragraph from the bottom of page 1 that's highlighted, or it's in red, says all work to be done in strict compliance with the equipment manufacturer's specifications, current codes, and standards, and in according to the scope of work as outlined in this RFB, or request for bids. I ran that by the state, and they said that would work. They did not need an engineer in there, so we need to still okay that with Ehlers, but if it's okay with her or with them, the state was absolutely fine with taking out engineer. They had no requirements there. I did, kind of backing up a little bit, I talked to the state again to make sure that, I know in our policy, procurement policy for the county, it allows for sole proprietor. We can't do that with a FEMA bid, and I got all the outlines for that, so I could add that to this. But that's why we have to go to the request for bids. So basically at this point, anything that's highlighted, and let me go back and, you can look at that. We need to set, the dates for the meetings. So there will be a pre-meeting and then a meeting right after accepting the bids that day. So we'll need to set those dates. And then we need to come up with a bid form, correct?
Yeah.
You can explain that. Right?
And that's the reason why I'm helping out, is because we have been through a few public lettings that we do locally. We haven't done a public local letting for secondary roads for quite a while. All of the tools that I had were all geared toward transportation projects, which is why there wasn't a lot of crossover that would work. But the basics of the letting, bid letting and form a contract and everything, that's all there. So that's kind of why I'm just kind of helping Kim make sure we have what this says we need to have. The bid proposal form is one of the hangups that we don't have yet. What is the bidder going to take and fill out? It's the insured has to have some certain legalese on it that I have no talent for writing. So I'm going to try to find it and copy it. So.
So, is it okay to ask? So one of the questions I had is, it talks about payment to the contractors will be made, or to the contractor will be made on a monthly estimate basis. Is there any allowance in there? I mean, do we have any issues with supply chain problems and getting equipment and
Yeah, right
once
now,
things
yeah.
get started?
And this is just a guesstimate because we had someone come in and survey it initially about 20 months ago or so when we wanted to do the project. So with that particular company, things have improved. We did have kind of a lull there where couldn't get the radio supplies, couldn't get the parts and pieces. Right now, just talking to that particular contractor, and I have to be, pretty careful about who I talk to, but just finding out if those products are available. Right now, they're not too far off of normal scheduling.
Right. Well, I guess my concern is, it looks like the language, looks like it reads that we pay on a monthly basis no matter what, whether work is being completed or not. Is that, am I misinterpreting that?
And what page is that on?
At the bottom of page 2.
Okay. Yeah, equal to 95%.
It's,
Of the contract value of the work completed.
okay. It says, monthly estimates in the amount equal to 95% of the contract value. So work completed, it means it's done and parts are in and everything's happened.
I would assume
Okay.
so. Ayler's
I just want to
looked
make
at
sure
that,
there's
so-
no,
Yeah,
we're not
no, I
paying
agree.
while we're waiting.
Right, paying ahead of time.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, I'm assuming that passed the
Okay.
attorney's office, so
Okay.
definitely not me for the legal ease part of it.
Yeah.
It's the
And I think
95%.
part of that could be, is it a perfect estimate? And I think that's why the estimate is in there on how much work is complete.
And there could be
Was the way
retainage.
the attorney explained it when we were meeting.
I know in our projects there's retainage, so there's a certain amount that we hold back. until
That's the
everything's final.
5%.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like 5% is the amount held back, but as long as we're comfortable with the idea that we agree on what's completed work.
Okay, sounds good. And then in that same sentence, it did say, subject to the approval of, and it said emergency management. Obviously, this isn't my grant, so we changed that to auditor, engineer, and board of supervisors. That way, you can all be kind of coordinating that together instead of just putting it on one. You can all look at that. Let's see, and then what else did we talk about? So yeah, as soon as Paul, and I'm helping as much as I can, but if we can find that bid contract, bid form, right, that's what you're looking at?
Yeah.
And then, is that one and the same then? Bid form is one, and then contract is the other?
Yeah, the
correct?
contract is what the board will award bidder that was selected.
Okay, so those are two important things that need to happen fairly quickly. And then as soon as we get those and run it back through Ehlers, we're ready to go. I think we're really close. It's just, seems like it's taking a really long time to fine tune this. I wanna make sure we're doing it right.
Yeah. Do you have any idea what the landscape is out there for contractors to do this? How many, like, are there multiple contractors
My guess is
that
there'll
we
be
could
3
bid?
to 5 bidding,
Okay.
I'm guessing. That's just a guess. But that's about how many have been contacting me over the course of the last 20-plus months since, we started this process, has this request for bids come out. I've got a few of those calling me or emailing me and asking me if it's come out yet. So that's my guess, is that 3 to 5. There are a lot of different types of sirens, and we're pretty specific to what we want, what we need actually, because the other sirens that are retained in the county, LaGrande and Marshalltown, need to be able to work exactly the same as the new ones that are coming in. Because we already have a base station, a way to work those, and they need to be able to work with the new ones. So it is pretty specific, which is outlined in this, so that we get ones that work with the current ones, and we're not just totally outdating them and leaving them high and dry because they're not in the new, they opted out of getting the new, LaGrande and Marshalltown did. So yeah, I just wanted to keep everybody updated. I hope to get this done before the end of June, so we're really pushing to at least get those dates set before the end of June. July 1 through 15, somewhere in there, I need to apply for, and I can't do it before, but apply for the extension. I talked to Nan about that. This part of the grant actually ends October 1, and we know where are we going to get that done by October 1. That's installation and everything. So we'll request that extension, and I believe this grant is done maybe March of 25. So we have some time there. It's just I have to make sure I get that extension in. So it's really important that we try to get at least this stuff done before that last week in June, so that we're ready to ask for that extension and have proof that we're working towards that process.
This was a 36-page document, and I read it all.
Yay.
Something we might want to remember, any coal that we need to use in this
I
project
saw that, the coal.
has to be mined in Iowa,
Iowa,
so
yes.
keep that in mind.
Yeah, I put Paul in charge of that, so
Right.
we can keep an eye out for coal as they're out and about on the
Absolutely.
secondary roads.
Yes.
I like that sentence too. All right, so, do you have any questions on the siren grant, or?
I don't think so. So are you looking for any particular action, or just, this is
I
just an
think at this
update
point
to
it's just
continue
we're gonna find
proceeding?
those, we, as in Paul is going to, and we're gonna work together, those
Yeah,
other
not
two.
yet.
And
That's what I
then,
thought.
yeah, we can't, I don't think we can make any actions until we get those to set a date.
Do you want
And then
to
set a
target any
date.
dates that, you wanna talk about what dates
I
you
guess
might
we
be able
should,
to
yeah,
target?
kind of look at the dates.
When we did the annex, we kind of set everything during regular board meetings, but then held a special to open bids. And that was all we did at that meeting, was just open bids.
Okay.
So, and that worked pretty well.
So are you gonna do like a special meeting just prior to a regular meeting, is that?
It was a
kinda-
different day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just prior, like a couple days prior, or how do you usually do? It's not a
Either-
long ways apart, is it?
No,
usually?
no,
Okay.
it was not.
Okay.
It was just in between them.
So is there a Board of Supervisors meeting close, right before the end, last week in June? I don't know what your June meetings are.
The 25th.
7 and 21.
Yeah.
Can we do, the 21 would be pushing it. Well.
We'll have to
21st
look at those dates.
Yeah,
and-
21st, if you can kind of keep that in mind. Yeah, that would be really good to try to aim for.
Okay.
And then we'll work together on that other,
Okay.
and try to get those done. And then that way we have a little bit of time to get it back to Ehlers, and they can review everything again. Just make sure that we didn't miss something.
And just for our wording on the proposal, is it, when you take local bids, do you receive them at the auditor's office, I assume, until a certain time? That would be like-
4:30, yeah, we do it 4:30 on a certain date. I accept them, if it was like the annex, everybody came in the last 2.5 minutes, because nobody wanted anybody else to know what's going on. It was the weirdest process I've ever seen.
And you notarize when they,
We file stamp that I was
Okay.
received. So that just was a little learning curve for us, so.
The first three
typical.
paragraphs kind of address that, so that bid acceptance was the very first paragraph up there, and it's highlighted for that time, date, and then making sure that you get that done. And I know you said that's usually just 15-20 minutes before that special meeting that you close it.
What we've done, we did it at 4:30 end of day, and then
Okay.
we had the meeting, I think, the next day, where we
okay.
opened them.
Sounds good.
Had a 9 o'clock the next day, and
And then on this, it does have the page, I think it's page 3, let me double check. Yeah, page 3 at the top has the options of, and what, it's under important. All interested bidders for the project are encouraged to attend a pre-bid meeting to be held, and so we'll have to have that set also as a pre-meeting as soon as possible, so that we can get that, all this information out to them. So those would be I guess the two biggies.
So if we set the bid opening date on the meeting of the 7th, is that 2 weeks long enough for you to advertise for bids to get the information to everybody that you need to?
I think so. With technology now and putting it out on the website.
that would be a question for the attorney with
Yeah, the
Ayers.
attorney would have to. The state says there's no.
Yeah, there was
there's
no,
absolutely
no
timeline,
restriction.
so
no
we-
restriction from the state, but we'll
Yeah.
just get
we'll
a
make sure the
confirmation
attorney-
from her.
okay. Okay, sounds good. So we'll look at 7th and
21st,
21st and.
and then a special maybe the 22nd, because we'd accept the bids then on the 21st that day, or would there be
we'll
something?
take a look at the calendar.
So you're,
We'll reach out to
Okay.
her, we'll reach out to her and see what she recommends.
sounds good. Yeah, as long as we keep your time here, but yeah, just make sure we keep in touch with each other and we'll, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm writing it for and working it for the Board of Supervisors. It's a county project, but I took it on. I just wanna make sure I'm doing it right.
Well, thank you very much, and thanks, Paul, working together. It's a lot of tedious details in
It
this,
is a
so we
lot of
appreciate
tedious.
that.
Yeah. All right, it'll be well worth it when it's done.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
All right, number 14 is the tabled Animal Rescue League, reviewing the contract, and that's tabled. We're gonna move that on to June 7th, so I don't believe we need any action unless someone really wants to bring this up. All right. And then, I think we need to amend the agenda to move public forum up to now, prior to the closed session on pending litigation.
I'll make a motion that we amend the agenda to move item number 17 ahead of item number 15.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please. Yes.
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 Thank you for that. On to public forum. This is a time set aside for public to make comments on topics of county business other than those listed on the agenda, or on the agenda if you'd like. No other action will be taken on these topics brought up in public forum. So for public forum, just make sure you come up to the podium. So first come, first serve.
I'm gonna state my name and address, right?
Yes.
Social Security.
I just
Thanks,
wanna,
Mark.
I just wanna thank Nan and Lucas and all the other people who worked on getting the courthouse up to shape and back in progress. And I know that they've been the points of the spear, and they've done an excellent job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. Anyone else? Awesome. All right. That was the shortest public forum in our. Get that time on that for next one. We'll see if we can beat it. Thank you very much, Mark. We appreciate that, and we appreciate all the work that Nan and Lucas did, and contractors, subcontractors, everyone on getting this courthouse for this meeting today. I think we can all agree that this is a beautiful room for a meeting, and the rest of the courthouse is wonderful while still maintaining the historical nature of the courthouse for the exterior and the grand courtroom that we'll soon be seeing soon. So and I know the employees are very happy about their spaces, and it's nice to have modern spaces back in this building. So
As you can hear, it's still a work in progress,
Yes.
so stay tuned.
all right. Any other comment?
No.
All right. On to number 15, closed session per Iowa Code 21.51C, pending litigation. To go into closed session pursuant 21.5, subsection 1, paragraph C, Code of Iowa, to discuss strategy with counsel in matters where litigation is imminent, where its discourse would be likely to prejudice or disadvantage the county in that litigation. Marshall County has an attorney-client relationship with the Office of Marshall County Attorney and Ehlers and Cooney. Do we have a motion to go into closed session?
I'll make the motion that we go into closed session per Iowa Code 21.51C regarding pending litigation.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Kyle?
Yes.
Solosik?
Yes.
Hibbs?
Yes.
It's 9:38 a.m.
IT, I sent the other checks. I was looking in the hole. I got to do Lucas for all of like 3 minutes. And I got yelled at the entire time.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Phone ring.
Awesome. Welcome back. On to number 16.
Roll call in. We got roll call in open, right above that.
Oh, you have to do the roll call and
Yeah.
open. Okay. And this is just to say that we are out of closed session of verification in.
And that none of you left.
Okay. All right. Roll call vote, please.
Kyle,
Yes. Here.
Solosek,
Yes.
Hibbs,
Yes.
All right.
9:53.
Number 16, approve settlement agreement. To approve settlement agreement and authorize chair to sign.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve the settlement agreement with First On-Site Property Restoration as presented.
I'll second.
All right. We have the motion, a second. Do we have any further discussion on this item? All right. Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Kyle,
Yes.
Solosek,
Yes.
Hibbs,
Yes.
All right. We are on to adjournment unless there's any other public forum. I'll open that back up if anyone has any. All right, on to adjournment. Next regular session is Wednesday, June 7th here, 9 a.m. First floor meeting room, 1 East Main Street. All business to be acted upon at that session should be submitted to the County Auditor and Recorder's Office or Board of Supervisors Office by Wednesday, May 31st at noon. There being no further business to come before the board, the meeting is adjourned at 9:54 a.m.
Sorry, we got done a minute earlier.
Thank you.